So let's talk about Miss LaTocha Scott's problematic ass, because apparently she don't want to take responsibility for the shit that she does. Wait, hold on, let me check my volume. Ooh, hold on. Okay, so instead of taking accountability for her on-screen behavior, singer LieTocha Scott is blaming producer Mona Scott Young for how she was portrayed on SWV and Escape Queens R&B. Now, during a recent interview with Chicago 105, 107.5 WCGI host Kendra G, LaTocha said if Bravo greenlights the show for a second season, that she would not be participating. She also tried to tell us the lie that out of the 7 women on the show, she was the one who was constantly ganged up on. She also tore into the show's producer for using the show to tear down black women, saying, quote, "There's not going to be a part 2 for me. No, I mean, when you come and you say 2 supergroups are going to be celebrated and it does not end that way, like you got everybody beefing on social media. Not everybody, just you. And the fact that you and your husband wouldn't take accountability for the shit y'all did and the accusations that came out, meaning you stealing your sister's $30,000 bonus money and um, Rocky taking kickbacks from the group from promoters and the girls not knowing about the kickbacks. And then how you've been reacting with everything. And then you did the whole Instagram video where you was talking about that you was in a open marriage, which you went on Andy Cohen's show and said you meant open communication, not open marriage. I'm like, that's not the same shit. Because afterwards you said a wife knows what goes on in her marriage. So what open communication? So now you try to backpedal and pussy pop because Rocky probably was like, well, why you out here telling my business? So maybe he's in an open marriage, but you putting up with it because he got you wrapped up in this whole thing of he knows how to play into your insecurities. So she went and said the nerve of a black production company with Mona Me coming in and not celebrating black women is just tearing down. The whole time out of the 7 women, I was being attacked every single day. Now here's the thing. Oh, she said, let me finish. So it's just that thing for me, like when you say you're going to do something, we should be able to do it. And I think the fans have been slighted. And the shame of her, Mona Scott Young, shame on the production for doing that. We didn't get to do a tour. We didn't get to music. So what was the end goal? What were we doing here? Did I have reservations? Of course I did. But when she, Mona Scott Young, started to say, hey, we're going to celebrate y'all. We're going to do a tour. We're going to talk about how you do a show, how you got to do the wardrobe and the music. I'm like, that's beautiful. She added none of the things happened until we started filming, none of the craziness. So was this a setup? What did we do this? What did she expect? Of course, all the shit went down when y'all were filming. Y'all really thought that y'all was going to put all this stuff and plan it out with them not catching it all on camera? Is she slow? LaTocha, this is not the first time. This is not your first time at a reality TV rodeo. You have done shows before. You have done the whole reality TV thing before. They even showed clips of you and Candy getting into it on a previous reality show that y'all did, I believe, for Bravo, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't watch the previous Escape reality show. I didn't care enough. But because y'all had SWV up on there, I was like, I like both girls. And I remember watching SWV's reality show when Coco was the problem. So I was like, let's see how this all turns out between the both of them. Because we all know when y'all get a bunch of women together, it's going to be some drama. We all knew that. But also, what was you expecting doing a show with Mona Scott Young? She created Love and Hip Hop. So you was really expecting like behind the music? Was you expecting unsung? Was you expecting storytellers? Like what was y'all expecting? I don't get what you thought you was doing. I think you full of shit. You needed that coin. You saw this as a great opportunity, and you use this also as a way to get your solo career off the ground. Because for the many decades that Candy and Tiny were all doing reality TV, what stopped you from putting out music? Nobody stopped you but you. But you saw this as an opportunity to launch a solo career off the back of the fandom loving Xscape and SWV. And I truly feel that LaTocha has always been jealous of Candy because Candy is a good businesswoman. She's smart. She knew how to constantly get that bag. She didn't care who she steamrolled over, but she knew how to secure that coin. And your husband, who you employ to be your manager, is not good at his job. He's good at line stealing and double dealing. As I quote a famous disco song. So I don't like the fact that you try to put, yet again, she out here pointing the finger and blaming people for her shortcomings. She also said that despite promoting her solo album that I heard is not doing really well, because Victor Yates last week said that the solo album isn't doing well, and the other ladies perform it as Xscape 3. She says she will always be a part of Xscape. She says, I'm definitely part of Xscape. I created the name. That's the mothership. That's where I come from. I would never forget where I come from, but it's time for me to do music. I've always wanted to do music. Yeah, and like I said, nobody stopped you but you. But now all of a sudden, because you're hot again, you realize, let's strike while the iron's hot. I don't know why I'm coughing so much today. It's probably the change in air because, it's spring. But here's the thing. One of the things I love that I'm glad I screenshot it because I could not find it. Remember, Tammy Roman, who comes from the world of reality TV, posted the following in the comments. I think this is off of the Neighborhood Talk or one of those websites that I saw on and that she wrote on it and screenshot it. But I was like, let me read it because I feel like she summed up my thoughts in the whole situation. So she said, at some point, you have to step back and say, number one, I'm sorry. Number two, my sister didn't know about the checks. I was in a tight. My husband set up a hustle and I didn't oppose. Number three, I can make payments and pay you back. Number four, I really don't like Candy and she doesn't care for me and that's okay. But we made history together and I'm professional enough to make this bread now. Number five, I did the show to use as a platform for my solo project. I've seen Love and Hip Hop. I knew what time it was. Number six, my husband cheated and I'm going to stick beside him. Number seven, God bless me with Xscape, so I'm going to honor that journey. To compromise for me is I won't sing on the overly sexualized songs, but who can I run to is a thumbs up. Number eight, my gospel album title is Let He Without Sin. Number nine, I'm going to stop doing interviews. And I think, you know what, Tammy pretty much summed it all up. She needs to stop doing fucking interviews because every time you do interviews, you sticking your foot in your damn mouth and you saying something stupid. So stop doing interviews because you make things worse. But I do agree with that. You need to own up to the things that you did. If you own up to your stuff, we'll move on. People won't hold this over your head, but you refuse to take accountability. Just say, yeah, my husband did what he did, and I knew about it, and your mother knew, and y'all mother knew about it, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to pay her back the money. Because the worst thing you can have somebody do to you, especially your family, is steal your money. And yeah, if you don't gotta like Candy, but with Xscape, excuse me, y'all made history. Y'all had a lot of hits. But you know what? We don't have to get along. We don't have to be. We don't have to be over for Easter dinner or whatever the case is. But I'm professional enough to get my ass up on this stage and do what needs to be done for the check, which Coco is smart enough to know and do, and the rest of the women of SWV. Because remember, they always said Coco was the problem. But Coco's smart. She like, you know what? You get more bees with honey. But the thing with LaTocha is she ain't that bright, and her ego won't allow her to just humble herself enough, especially if we got that no good ass husband, and go along with it. Now, the husband cheating, I believe every word of it. And just say that you're going to stick beside your husband no matter what because it looks good for you. And divorce is not an option because you're so engulfed in the church. They'd rather you be miserable and save face than actually, live your life as you see fit. And like I said, I do feel like she deserved doing interviews. But good luck to you, LaTocha, because I don't think we're ever gonna get this problem solved. I don't think there's ever gonna be a resolution. And